What up, guys? It's me, GamerGuyTV here, and welcome back to another episode of Battlefront 2. So it's been a while since we have actually done a Battlefront 2 video, so while I upgrade these cards, I just want to make sure that I explain sort of what's happened since the last time. So I was able to get Han and Vader, which were the two we were working on. Han is at 30 and Vader is at 27. So today we're going to try and push to 28, maybe even 29. We'll see how the day goes. But we are just going to stick right in this with things just as simple as, co-op. I want to make sure, for those who haven't been watching the channel since what I call the old days of, like, Roblox, I generally try and keep videos around 15 minutes long, and this time last year, the videos were more than 15 minutes. They were like 30 or 40. And I'm not at the point where that got me a lot of watch time. So I'm more worried at this point about just making good content for you guys. A lot of what my channel is me sort of talking into what I'm going to call the camera, even though it's a microphone. But that's what a lot of this channel is, and I want to make sure that I can do that, but at the same time I can still create good, enjoyable content for you guys without sort of making the videos too long, doing like HVV and then co-op. We're just going to do rounds of co-op until we hit 15 minutes, and then we will stop there. It's not like a hard cutoff at 15. Don't worry, it's not like, oh, we hit 15 minutes mid-match, we're done. If we hit 15 during a match, we'll just finish that match off. Just things like that. Like I said in the last video that went up, this year I am focusing less on YouTube and Twitch and TikTok and more on school. We've been in 4 days and I've already had like 2 hours of homework a night. Most from one class. But, in the end, it'll be what it'll be, but
the rebels are preparing an assault. Our orders are to dig and hold at all costs.
I'm not really worried that much. Oh, it's defense. For the sake of good content, we're gonna quit and rejoin. But like I said, I'm focusing on school this year. As soon as I get off of recording this video, I'm gonna go get myself a vase mount for my monitor at my workspace. For those who don't know, I have 2 different desks here at the studio. A work desk and a gaming desk. But in the end, school is more important. School will get me farther in life than having a lot of followers on social media. So that's what I'm focusing on. And unfortunately, that does mean I have to roll back to, 2 videos a week. There's an entire video on that. The link should be in the description. But like I said, I've got to roll back now to 2 videos a week instead of like 4 in a live stream. It's just 2 videos a week. There's no live stream. I could tell you it wouldn't work this week. It wouldn't have worked this past Friday the 3rd, and it wouldn't work the 10th anyway, because I've got a class I'm taking that goes till 9 p.m. So I just would not be able to stream. And there's nothing wrong with that. Things pop up. But, like, we have slightly less than 3 months till Thanksgiving break, which is when I'm planning to sort of stream a little bit. The next...
The rebels are preparing an assault.
2.5 months. Oh my gosh, give me offense. This is our last try. And then we'll just suck it up and play defense, because again, good content. But like I was saying, Thanksgiving break, yeah, like I said, it's slightly under 3 months. August 23rd would have been the 3-month point, but we are just past that. But I'm not right now worrying about counting down the days till Thanksgiving break in early September. That is just silly. It is silly to count down the days till Thanksgiving break in September. Because I know for me, I've got plenty of good things to look forward to. In probably a little less than a month, I'm going to the beach. I've got, robotics season is starting up. For those who follow the channel, you'll know that I'm a big robotics person. But, the school year will be fun. I'm definitely missing summer a little bit, as I don't want to have to get back into, homework and studying for tests and stuff like that. But it'll all be what it will be. I'm not gonna lie and say that it'll be fun, but summer went by so unbelievably fast. You guys have no idea how fast summer went by. A lot of my coworkers are back at college now, scattered around the country.
The Rebel Alliance thought it could hide on
yes, it's offense. They're all scattered around the country and stuff like that, but we're keeping in touch, and it doesn't feel like summer is over.
A single stands between us and the
it also doesn't feel like a week since I've said that. But in the end, what is up with my sound? It is so loud. Subtitles on, yeah, that's fine. There we go. That'll do it. You guys probably have no audio now, but you know what? That's fine. I'm not that worried about it. But yeah, it doesn't feel like summer should be over, but at the pace that the summer went, it'll feel like summer. It'll be summer again in the blink of an eye. Because I can tell you very clearly, I lived through all of those horrible days working camp. I lived through them. I went to Minneapolis. I went to so many places and did so many amazing things, but it just doesn't feel like it. I was having so much fun that the time went by so fast. And I feel like I'm going to be sitting here in 4 weeks and just be like, yeah, it doesn't feel like it should be October. And then we'll do that with November, and then it'll be Thanksgiving, and then we'll do that with December. And then it'll be 2022, and then it'll be February, March, spring break, April, May, finals week, and then summer again. So it all sort of feels it feels weird. Let me put it that way. There are going to be plenty of, Thursday nights this year that I get home in the winter. And the other thing that is important for me this year is, last year I had a bunch of work, but it's nothing like this year. Literally nothing like this year. And I say that just simply because, it is because last year was pandemic and virtual school, and then hybrid, and then full-time in-person, but we had social distancing, we had vaccines, we had all this stuff. And it's, you know, it's one of those where this year, aside from having to do masks and still taking some aspect of social distancing, it is a normal year. You know, we started in person, we will hopefully finish in person. I don't want to jinx anything, but like, because of the weird year last year, we're gonna have to sort of catch up on learning a couple things, and that'll have to be a point. That'll have to be a thing. You know, I'm part of the leadership for the robotics team this year. I've got a lot on my plate. And sometimes that's fine, other times it is a lot to handle. And it's going to be a lot of work, and I know it's going to be a lot of work. Like, I already know it, nobody needs to tell me. It's just simply going to be a lot of work. Let me just go ham mode here. There we go. Let me get myself a little bit more health. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of work this year. And there's no reason I can't handle it. I've handled worse. But there are some things just, you know, getting in good working habits. You know, free periods exist during school this year. They didn't exist last year for contact tracing and other reasons, but this year they exist. So I've got to be really conscious that I, you know, take my free periods and do homework, especially this coming week when, you know, levels of work have picked up. And I've still got, you know, class late night. I've got to make sure I'm really good about doing all of my homework ahead of time and like stuff like that. Just making sure that I can do everything and making sure I get everything done and I don't fall behind and I'm putting effort in. Part of my problem last year was I wasn't doing that. I was so involved with streaming on Friday nights and, you know, getting a boatload of videos up per week that I didn't do that. So this year I need to be really good about stuff, and I'm expecting 3 to 4 hours of homework a night. The way our class schedule works, we've got like a free every other day, but like, who's shooting at me from behind? Okay, it's no one, it's those Ewok things. But basically, like, we get a free period pretty much every other day. And then, yeah, we get a free every other day. There's Lando. There's a Luke somewhere in here as well, but maybe that Luke has gotten killed. But like, if I'm expecting 3 hours of homework, I can expect that when I go to my free, I can get, realistically speaking, I can get like 70 minutes done. So that takes me down to approximately 2 hours, slightly less, but we'll say 2 for now. I also have a 45-minute block at the end of the day, actually probably more like 35, but we'll call it 45 for now, where I don't have class, but the buses don't leave till like 4. Oh my gosh. Need to take care of this dude first. There we go. Come on. I need to not die, because there's a Han. Oh, come on. That's annoying, but we can get Vader again. So it's all good. But, like, I can knock out an hour and a half, and sometimes I'll have, like, a 100-minute free period, which would let me get even more done. So, like, I can get done a lot, at least half of my homework at school, which will save me from having to do enough work where I'm up till 4 a.m. every night. You know, my classes this year are gonna be a lot of work. There's no doubting that. You know, you don't take 3 honors in an AP class and don't expect a lot of work. But in the end, I know I can handle it. Like I said, I can handle worse. I've handled worse, and even though it's going to be a lot, it'll still be a lot of fun. Robotics season, we are expecting to be normal this year, so we won't have our weird, like, hybrid competition schedule in February. We'll have, like, an actual competition day in December and January, and potentially February too, depending on how we do. But, you know, we're expecting much more of a normal year this year, which I think is important, and it'll make it go quicker. You know, it'll make it go way faster, and I think that, you know, me putting a sort of more laid-back video schedule, like I said, if I can't do it, I can't do it. I think me doing that will help as well. Just because I honestly think that, you know, like I said, it's around 2.5-ish months until Thanksgiving break. So, again, I'll get there, but I'm just going to try and take things 1 month at a time. You know, I know that this coming week I only have three days of school. You know, and the following week I have 4, and then it's a full week, and then we're into October. So in the end, I'm just trying to take it 1 month at a time. There are plenty of things that, you know, I can do and I can have fun with. I still get weekends off. I am gonna not want to do homework, and I know that about myself. But, you know, I gotta get the homework done pretty much no matter what. With the amount of honors and AP classes I'm taking, it's not really acceptable for me not to do the homework. It's not acceptable in any class, but it certainly will not fly in the classes that I'm taking. And for those of you who are, like, fans of the channel and are worried about whether there will be videos or not, yes, there will be. You know, there's today's, there'll probably be a decent amount more in September. But last year, I would pre-record things for the entire week. And I would pre-record Tuesday's video. I would pre-record stuff for the weekend, and I'm still going to try and do things like the Halloween special. Because I'm bound to have a Friday night. If I get all the homework done on a Friday night, I'm bound to have a Sunday where I won't need to study for something, and where I'll be able to simply just make videos. And I don't think I need to do any sort of big thing for Halloween, because I know I'm not gonna be able to, like, do a live stream or anything. I might do a premiere, but we'll see. And I also know I talked about, at one point, advertising a little bit. The only reason I'm hesitating a little bit with that is that, in the end, I don't have a job currently. I was a volunteer over the summer. There is talk about putting me on payroll at the place that I volunteered at within the next couple months, but right now I don't have a job or a steady source of income to be able to consciously say it is a good idea advertising like the Halloween special. Because as much as I would like to and as much attention as I would love to get to the channel through that, you know, it's not like it's not like it's going to be worth it. Let me put it that way right now. I did also want to say, because we do have a couple of skill points to level up, that before summer happened, in May and in April, when I was talking about getting Twitch affiliate, I talked about putting some of that money towards like a new keyboard for my work desk. Yeah, that new keyboard, it is a keyboard. Right now I'm just using the same keyboard for gaming and for work, for like schoolwork, because right now it is not that important that I have, a gaming keyboard and a work keyboard. I can just switch the two. It's literally unplugging and walking. So, sorry, voice crack there. So it's not that hard for me to do. And I'm thinking that in the end, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to, like I said, this year I want to focus academically. I don't want to focus on YouTube. I still want to keep it up because I think I've learned so much from it and I can improve my editing skills from it. And it's also helped me with public speaking and storytelling because I can tell stories to YouTube. I can use emotion in my voice, and it doesn't just sound monotonous. But I want to focus academically, and I'm thinking right now what I'm going to do is fall semester ends in just over 3 months. So if I can make it until fall semester ends without, with being able to switch the keyboards back and forth, if I do well fall semester, I might say, you know what, I'm going to treat myself to that keyboard. And I talked about getting a quadruple vase mount earlier on in the summer. I might, at the end of spring semester, say, you know what, I did well this semester. I did well this semester, I kept up good habits. I know I want to stream a little bit this summer, even though I'm going to work camp again. Let me do this good thing for myself and get myself the quadruple vase mount. Let me do that. So that's what I'm thinking, if any of you guys were wondering. But as I went on about the entire 15-minute thing, we are at 24 minutes currently. So I'm going to end the video here. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't seen the video about the new video schedule and are wondering what's up with videos not coming out 4 times a week now, then I will leave a link to it in the description. Go watch it. It'll probably explain a lot of what you guys are worried about. And yeah. So with that, thank you guys for watching. If you are not already subscribed, please consider doing so. Leave this video a like. It helps the video get out there a little bit, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.